You've spent years building a version of yourself you didn't even recognize. And somewhere along the way, you forgot who you were trying to become. There's a quiet weight that comes with realizing how much time you've spent reacting. Reacting to people who hurt you, reacting to situations you couldn't control, reacting to a world that never asked for your permission before it broke you down. And maybe you're tired now. Tired of becoming smaller every time someone else decides who you should be. But here's what the Stoics understood 2,000 years ago. What Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal while leading an empire at war. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. That's not a motivational quote. That's a lifeline, because the moment you stop waiting for the world to change, you reclaim yourself. You've been carrying other people's expectations like stones in your chest, your parents' dreams, society's blueprint for what success should look like. And every time you tried to fit into those shapes, something inside you cracked, then went silent. The Stoics called this living against nature. Not nature as in trees and rivers, but your nature. The core of you that knows what's true, what you can't keep betraying without losing yourself. Epictetus, a man who was born a slave and became one of history's greatest philosophers, said this. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. He didn't talk about becoming better. He said, become it. Live it. Not when you're ready. Not when it's convenient. Now, in the middle of the mess, because the truth is, you don't need permission to change. You just need to stop abandoning yourself. Here's where most people get stuck. They think becoming their best self means controlling everything, controlling outcomes, controlling how people see them, controlling a future that doesn't exist yet. But the Stoics understood something radical. Most of life is completely beyond your control. And that's not a tragedy. That's freedom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, the impedimento action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Read that again. What stands in the way becomes the way. The job you lost wasn't attitude. The relationship that ended wasn't wasted time. The failure that humiliated you wasn't proof you're broken. It was the curriculum. It was life handing you the exact lesson you need to become who you're meant to be, but you have to stop resisting it. You have to stop pretending that the path should have been easier, cleaner, more like someone else's highlight reel. The Stoics believed you can meet life exactly as it is, and still become someone worth being. That you can lose and not be a loser, hurt and not stay wounded, fall and not stay fallen. So, what does this actually look like? How do you become your best self when you're exhausted and halfway through a life that didn't turn out the way you planned? You start by letting go of the version of yourself you think you were supposed to be. That's the hard part, not the discipline, not the consistency, the grief of realizing you spent years chasing a destination that was never yours to begin with. Seneca, writing to a friend struggling with regret, said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most of the pain you carry isn't from what happened. It's from the story you keep telling yourself about what it means. That you're behind, that you're damaged, that it's too late. But it's not too late. You're not too far gone. You're just finally ready to stop running from the only moment you've ever had. This one. The Stoic path isn't about becoming someone new. It's about stripping away everything that was never you in the first place. The masks, the defenses, the versions of yourself you built to survive situations you're wallowing in. And what's left underneath all of that is the person who's been waiting for you to come back. Here's what becoming your best self actually requires. Not motivation, no inspiration, not a vision board or a 5-year plan. It requires you to show up every single day and do the small and glamorous work of aligning your actions with your values. The Stoics called this living in accordance with virtue. It was courage when you wanted to hide, discipline when you wanted to quit, wisdom when you wanted to react, justice when you wanted revenge. It was choosing over and over again to be the person you respect, even when no one's watching, especially when no one's watching. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world at the time, reminded himself every morning, when you wake up, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. He was pretending people wouldn't disappoint them. He was preparing himself to respond with dignity anyway. To protect his character even when the world didn't deserve it. That's the work. Not changing the people around you. Not waiting for life to reward you for being good. Just refusing to let circumstance turn you into someone you don't recognize. And here's what happens when you commit to that. Gradually, you stop needing validation. You stop bleeding energy into situations you can't change. You become solid, not perfect, but rooted, clear about what matters. People notice. Sometimes they're confused by your peace. Sometimes they miss the version of you that was easier to control. But that's not your concern anymore. The only opinion that follows you into every moment is your own. This is the revolution. Not loud, just you every day becoming more yourself. So here we are another year ahead. The same choice. Will you live for you or for the idea of you that everyone else needs? The Stoics promised it would be worth it, that the person you become would be someone you could respect. Marcus Aurelius left us with this. Waste no more time arguing what a good person should be.
Be one, not tomorrow.
Not when you're healed now with everything you are and everything you're not, because the path isn't out there. It's in the decision you make right now to stop abandoning yourself. The Stoics believed every moment is a fresh beginning. You're not defined by how many times you fell, but by how many times you stood back up. And maybe that's all we can do. Stand back up. Keep walking. On the other side is a version of yourself you'll actually want to meet. If this resonated, subscribe so you remember when it gets hard that you're not alone. The journey continues and so do you.